Welcome to Lotus Lane Daily. I'm glad you're here. Today's wisdom is for anyone noticing jealousy and not knowing where to put it. You know that feeling when you open Instagram at midnight and see that someone from your college just got promoted, or got engaged, or is standing on a beach in Santorini looking impossibly happy, and something twists inside your chest? Not sadness exactly. Sharper than that. A hot, ugly feeling you'd never admit to anyone because it makes you look small. That's jealousy. And if you're reading this at 2 a.m., it's probably eating you alive right now. First, let's get something out of the way. You are not a bad person for feeling this. Jealousy is one of the most human things there is. It shows up in kindergartners who want the other kid's crayon. It shows up in CEOs watching a competitor's stock rise. It has been written about, agonized over, and wrestled with for thousands of years. You are not broken. You are just in it right now. But you're not alone doesn't actually make the feeling go away, does it? So let's actually talk about what jealousy is, what it's trying to tell you, and honestly and practically, what you can do about it tonight. What jealousy is actually doing to you. Jealousy isn't just an emotion, it's a story your mind tells you on repeat. The story usually goes something like this: they have what I deserve, life is unfair, I am behind, I am less than. That story is exhausting, and the longer you run it, the more it warps how you see everything. Your own life starts to look gray and insufficient, not because it is, but because you're measuring it against someone else's highlight reel. There's a line from a collection of philosophical writings that stops me every time I read it. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they really are, not as we wish them to be, and then to act accordingly. That's the crux of it. Jealousy distorts your vision. It makes you see their life as perfect and yours as lacking, neither of which is true. Real clarity, real wisdom, means looking at both honestly. What does that person's life actually look like? Not the photo, the reality, the anxiety behind the promotion, the relationship issues no one posts about, the chronic loneliness of people who look like they have it all. You don't know. None of us do. We are comparing our insides to their outsides, and that is a game you will lose every single time. The part no one wants to hear. Here's where I'm going to be straight with you, because I think you deserve that more than comfort right now. Sometimes jealousy is pointing at something real, a life you actually want and haven't yet let yourself admit you want, a direction you've been too scared or too distracted to move toward. In that case, the jealousy isn't the problem, it's the signal. The problem is you've been ignoring what you actually care about. Ask yourself, what specifically made your stomach drop? Was it the promotion? Then maybe there's ambition in you that hasn't had room to breathe. Was it the relationship? Then maybe you're lonelier than you've let yourself admit. Was it the freedom they seem to have? Then maybe you've been telling yourself you're okay with a life that's actually slowly suffocating you. This takes courage to look at. Not the Instagram courage of motivational quotes, but the quiet, uncomfortable kind. Sitting with an honest question in the dark and not running from what comes up. What to actually do right now. Okay, practical. Here's what can genuinely help. Not in some abstract long-term spiritual sense, but actually tonight and in the days ahead. 1. Name it out loud or on paper. Seriously. Open a notes app or grab whatever paper is nearby and write, I am jealous of name because specific thing. Don't dress it up. The act of naming it precisely does something. It moves the feeling from this shapeless, shameful fog into something you can actually look at. Shame thrives in vagueness. Specificity shrinks it. 2. Put the phone down. Not forever, just for tonight. Scrolling right now is pouring gasoline on a fire. You already know this. The feed is not a window into reality. It's a carefully selected performance, and right now your nervous system cannot tell the difference. Give it a break. 3. Ask what the jealousy is asking for. Try this. Write down what you're jealous of. Then ask, what does this tell me I want? Not what you should want, what you actually want. Then ask, what's one small thing I could do this week that moves me toward that? Not a life overhaul, one small thing. Send one email, sign up for one class, make one phone call. Jealousy shrinks when you're in motion toward your own life. 4. Do something genuinely kind. This one sounds strange, but it works. When jealousy has you coiled inward, caught in comparison, Doing something for someone else, even something tiny, interrupts the loop. A genuine compliment, checking in on a friend, helping with something without being asked. It's not about being a saint. It's about getting out of your own head, because your own head is currently not a fun place to be. There's something in a collection of ancient letters that speaks to this. The idea that a single warm word can give someone the courage to go on living. Never underestimate the power of your compassion. And here's what's interesting. Extending that warmth does something to you, not just to them. It's very hard to be consumed by jealousy while you're genuinely caring for someone. The harder, longer work. If jealousy is a recurring thing in your life, if it's not just tonight, but a pattern, then there's deeper work to do. Not a quick fix, but real work. Usually, chronic jealousy lives on top of something else. A deep fear that you are not enough, that life is a competition with limited prizes, that other people's success takes something away from you. None of these things are true, but they feel true. And feelings don't care about logic. The long-term work is building what you might call a genuine relationship with your own life, not performing contentment. Actually getting interested in what you are building, what you care about, what kind of person you want to be on your own terms, not relative to anyone else's terms. This is where compassion comes in a way that might surprise you. We usually think of compassion as something you offer to people who are suffering, and it is. But the same writings I mentioned earlier describe it this way. Compassion is not about feeling pity for others. It is about sharing their suffering and working together to overcome it. That's a harder, more honest version of compassion. It's not about looking down at someone with sympathy. It's about recognizing that everyone is carrying something and moving through life with that awareness. When you genuinely internalize that the person you're jealous of is also struggling, also afraid, also uncertain about whether their life is enough, something shifts, not into pity, into recognition. They are you in a different situation, and you are them. You are not behind. Before you close this tab, there is no scoreboard. There is no schedule you're failing to keep up with. There is no version of adulthood or success or love that you were supposed to have reached by now. These are stories, and you've been living inside them without questioning whether they're true. Your life, right now, with all its gaps and disappointments and unfinished chapters, is not a consolation prize. It is the actual thing, the only one you get. And it is worth your full attention, not the scattered, comparative, panicked attention that jealousy demands, but real attention, curious attention, the kind that notices what's actually here instead of mourning what isn't. You found this article at 2 a.m. because something was hurting. That matters. The fact that you're looking for a way through instead of just drowning in it, that matters too. Be a little gentle with yourself tonight, not in a treat yourself way, in a real way. The way you'd talk to a friend who is sitting exactly where you're sitting right now. You're going to be okay. Not because everything will magically work out, but because you're the kind of person who looks honestly at hard things. That's rarer than you think, and it's enough to start with. That's the wisdom for today. If something here landed for you, share it with one person who might need to hear it too. Take it slow. I'll see you tomorrow on Lotus Lane Daily.